All right, Nick, we got some more IT op questions. Let's dig into this one. I want to talk about a little bit more about scaling because a lot of times as a small business, we start as one and then maybe two. But I want to make sure that when we're setting up a business that's not huge, so maybe like 2 to 20 people, how can we really think about our IT and making sure it sets up well for while we're doing that growth? I'm sure as we get bigger, it's a bigger issue, but a lot of us kind of stay at 20 employees or less.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's a huge space, and IT is so core to every business these days. So I think one thing to think about is letting go a little bit. I think a lot of owners who start like everything's up to them, and you really have to kind of define these technical tasks and what you're doing technically, and how much time you could really free up by not doing that. So that's one thing that I think about in terms of scaling is really the letting go of the owner of that kind of control, and really finding a partner to help you with that. Um, in terms of the actual technical tools, there's really three things that I think about for that size of business. At a fundamental level, certain businesses have specific softwares, and you're going to need an accounting software and all that. But realistically, you have to think about communications, about data, and about security. Those are the three things that I really think about. Communications can be your email system. Are you using Teams? Are you using Zoom? How are you doing internal versus external communications? Are they different? The communications is sort of something I think about that's really core to scaling and getting that right. Data, where is your data? How is it accessible to different people? We'll talk about the next one, which is security. So that includes permissioning, and also just in general, your technical security, your cyber security. How at risk is your business as it grows to someone clicking on a link, and it's like what you have to do these kind of tabletop exercises to really think about the security of your business.
Yeah. I love that. The communication it is huge, the data. And I want to because of being an ops person, oftentimes we talk about data and metrics, but this is like
Mhm.
any data. This is like I'm guessing client files, it's the potential client names, emails you collected at a conference, like it's all the information.
Yeah,
And then keeping
yeah,
it safe because the
yeah.
more and more, I actually had a potential client and got an email that said, "Hey, can you open this up?" And I'm thinking that's going to help me prepare for our next call. Open it up, and then I get an email later that said, "Don't open the file; it's spam." I'm like, "Dang it!" So it
Yeah,
can hurt
yeah.
all kinds of relationships, internal, external. Ay.
Totally, yeah, and it happens all the time. It's just and we can talk about this too in terms of scaling, but having these kind of processes and procedures in place to deal with certain things like that. So, how are you dealing with what happens after you click that link? How do you remediate? Who can you turn to? Who's helping you with that? And the processes around these communications. So like, you know, and again, controls on it too. So you use the data example, like if you have customer PII, if you have customer data that needs to be secure, what's the process for dealing with that? How is it organized? How is it secured? What are the controls in place to prevent misuse or mishandling of this data? And these are all, I mean, these are, this is more operational that you have to deal with, but it's intertwined and enveloped with your technology.
Well, and nowadays too, a lot of people are remote, that maybe they're working on their own computer and their phone, like some of the private thing or personal things as well as business is getting blurred into terms of line. So I can imagine as you add on more team members, there's more chance too of risk, more failing in communication, not getting all of that right. So it flows right into the technology being able to support the efficiencies like you started with. What could we do to take things off of your plate to be more efficient? Technology can help, but we also don't want it to hurt if you don't
Yeah.
balance it with security on the other side. So I appreciate you walking through all three of those areas.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. Well, Nick, if people need help with this, which I know we do, how can we find you?
Yeah, Nick with Held High Tech. You can reach me at nicknic at heldhightech.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick.